Hey guys, how's it going? Philip at Trade Genius. All right, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, and Litecoin is going to be leading this move higher. You can see that evidenced here on the LTC BTC chart. So we'll take a look at that more in depth. We'll also take a look at the crypto fear and greed indicator. We'll look at the futures gap chart. And one thing I wanted to tell you guys about was Poly BTC. Keep an eye on this one. I think this has a nice basing formation. On the hourly chart, it's been some nice swings with the moneymaker signal, which, by the way, if you're interested in that, check out our June specials at tradelikeagenius.com. But I think this one has potential. If we switch to a daily chart on Poly, I like the way it's setting up there. Nice basing here, and I think we could break out and then ultimately move up and fill this big volume void here. So nice potential for a big gain there. So I just thought I would send that out on this video. Keep an eye on that. Nice action shaping up here. So let's get into this video.
Trade Genius.
All right, guys. So Litecoin Bitcoin chart, LTC BTC. Litecoin really, not that this is discussed much, but Litecoin really started leading this move out of the bear cycle, as you can see here. So these bars are LTC BTC, and this solid line is the Bitcoin price in USD. So LTC BTC leading here, and you can see price Bitcoin followed up. LTC BTC in typical fashion got ahead and really had this sharp move up, which ended the first part of this move. So this was like move A. And then you had the pullback move B into our Fibonacci zones. And then now we're bouncing out of that. And current target on that Fib zone would be 0.021. So that's going to take us into what's been historically overbought territory for LTC BTC. But I think that that's ultimately where this is heading as we kind of head into the final leg of this pre-halving move. Now, this is going to, I fully expect this to lead Bitcoin. So after this lead up finished, it pulled back and then Bitcoin surged higher. But recently here, you'll notice Litecoin is leading the charge again. So I think that's going to be basically round two of what we saw back here in January. So that's what I think is going to fuel this rally. A lot of people think that, and BTC is king, but I think because of the halving event this time around on Litecoin, the previous halving event on Litecoin wasn't really that important because just because there wasn't a lot of volume and Litecoin's popularity wasn't anywhere where it is now. But this time it's going to be more powerful, and I think it's going to trigger not only Bitcoin, but also a lot of the alt market to go up. So that's what's on the radar right now, and I think this is going to be the fuel, and it's starting. So again, keep in mind this leading here. We talked about this in a few videos back on Litecoin, how Litecoin likes to start to lead. So that's a positive sign, and I'm pretty bullish for this month going forward, barring any kind of major FUD that comes out that would possibly tank Bitcoin, but I just don't see that setting up right now. All right, so now let's take a look at Bitcoin weekly chart. Now this is logarithmic chart, a little larger outlook, or look back, I should say. So I'm using Bitstamp on this. This is a weekly, but we have the halving events here in these vertical blue lines. But I've noticed that these trend lines have been kind of reactive. So it's kind of this channel that Bitcoin is either in or out of. And notice we fell out of it, and now we've come up and hit our head on it. So what I'm looking for here, and I haven't shown you guys this one yet, I think, but this was one I had worked up a while ago. But I know we're looking toppy on the weekly, and we'll get back to that on the Stokes and RSI and things like that. But we do have a bullish cross here on the moving averages. But again, we've hit our head on that. What I'm looking for is to get back into this channel, and I think that's going to be pretty exciting as far as the bulls go, because once we reclaim that channel, I think then we start working our way back in and ultimately get to the top of this channel. Now, I don't think that's going to happen prior to the halving. If it does, then we are in a whole new trajectory for Bitcoin. But I do expect the top of this channel to get tagged at some point prior to the post-halving move being completed, which would be probably something like late 2021. But again, that would get us well into the six figures. So just keep that in mind on that. So that's the weekly look on this chart here. I wanted to share with you guys because I hadn't really shown you guys this chart before. So now we're going to look at the current weekly on Coinbase. So technicals looking very toppy here, right? But what we're looking for is the red line here. That's the trend line. We're going to look for that to stay sustained, and then possibly the RSI stochastics that would drop and then come back up. and that would be like a recharge of the up move. We've taken out, like we said, we've been hunting these bear tops, so we've taken out these two, 7,400 plus, and this one here at 85 or 84.88 approximately. So really the next target we're looking for is just below 10,000. I still think that's in play, guys. And again, on the weekly, and we've gone sideways, for the last month, we've been traversing this range here. So, but I think that's pretty healthy considering the sizable and speedy move up that we've had. This prior bear top on the weekly has been acting like support. I do think we could see a wick down below that still. That's still in the cards, but ultimately, I think a little liquidity grab here could ultimately end this consolidation period and propel us higher. Daily chart, we had some bearish divergences, and I think that's largely played out for the most part. Again, I think a sweet spot here is a shaded area, so anywhere from 7,200 down to 7,000. Quick dip there would be nice if we could get it. Again, breaking the trend line down now, getting closer to that lower moving average. So we've usually, this structure here is suffice to continue an uptrend after resting, but we are in a period of chop here. So essentially now it's going to be looking at this area here that we've created, basically this box of price action, which we've had our low again from that weekly top of around 74.70 on up to 81.60 or so, and basically just ranging in there. So buying the bottom of that, selling the top of that has been working out a couple of times so far. But what's tricky about Bitcoin, again, like you see this move here, you may see a wick out of this area, a head fake, and then boom, results in squeezing the shorts, and then we're moving out of this range. So I could definitely see something like that happening on the daily. If we look at the hourly, a couple of lines in the sand on the hourly I've been looking at is 78.50, and then this upper one at a little north of 8,000, and seems like we dance either between those ranges or we slip below it. And then you have another level here around 70. Seems to be respecting around this 75.50 area. And so anyway, those are levels to keep an eye on with this current range. But again, I think that this is not going to last very long in here, and I would actually buy a dip out of this down to this level, because I think that's largely a head fake. I still think this uptrend is still intact. Some people are talking about, possible head and shoulders here, but, by and large, the head and shoulders, this is a larger structure we're talking about, but by and large, they have not really been that effective on Bitcoin. So, I think largely what you need to look at is the fact that we have consolidation. That's probably better looked at on a 4-hour chart. And I think, which is healthy, but I think this consolidation that we have going on here is definitely healthy. This is an overlay of the Chinese currency, and again, this has been seemingly leading the move. And as you can see, it's been on the 4-hour chart, especially. You can see it's really been in line with what Bitcoin's doing. So still, we're going to keep an eye on the Chinese yuan and see if the USD CNH climbs. Then I think that would be a good leading indicator that Bitcoin's probably going to do a catch-up move to that. But as you can see up here, nice volume void. So getting above this 81.70 area, I think you could possibly see a quick move up into this 8,700 area. And so it would make sense to see if you do get a breakout here and then buying a pullback, quick retest, and then move higher. So that's the 4-hour outlook. As far as crypto fear and greed goes, again, readings are nowhere where we would look to take action on anything. So again, I think it's going to be a situation where either we get a dip down, which can be bought, or we grind higher and see another reading in the upper 70s, which would be probably a spot that we'd be looking to take profits on. As far as the BTC futures go, we're looking at the daily chart really has no gaps. Again, those are the most powerful. But if you drill down to the 4-hour chart, we did have a gap that closed from over the weekend. That closed relatively quickly. And then we still have this one down here at 71.85 calling. And again, that would jive with some of these moving averages. So I'm still looking to see a quick move down to that level that we've been talking about. And it would be a very typical liquidity grab where people think, okay, we broke out of this consolidation. Now we go short, and then it bounces back up. So if we do that move, I'm looking for a quick wick. And that to me would confirm that most likely we then are going to start hitting and resuming the trend higher. But again, I think this largely is going to be led by LTC, and you can see that again on the LTC BTC chart here. Nice move up, came right up into an area of resistance that we were looking at, And now I think now all eyes on this fib extension at 0.021 for LTC BTC. All right, so that's pretty much it on this video outlook here for Bitcoin. Not so popular theory though that Litecoin really is going to fuel this next move, and I think looks positive for the month of June for everything Litecoin, Bitcoin, and majority of the altcoins out there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Trade Genius.